All right, Bobby Brugal. Thanks for talking to me, man.
What's up, Pete?
How are you?
I'm great, man. It's a beautiful day in Ottawa. It's like a very hot, warm day, so I'm happy.
Another gorgeous one. Tell me
Not
about
like we get a lot of them.
tell me about you growing up
Um, Growing up where?
here in Pittsburgh, wherever you want to start. Go back to the start.
Okay, cool. Bobby Brugal. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Born and raised West Penn Hospital type shit. Shouts to my mom and dad. I grew up on the south side of Pittsburgh. I lived on the south side of Pittsburgh my whole life until I never moved from the south side of Pittsburgh until I moved to Ottawa, Canada, and New York, different places. So I always lived on the south side, Belsuver, Warrington Ave, many different places around that place, but shouts to Pittsburgh. Um, yeah, that was fire. I love Pittsburgh. Like it obviously is super deep. It's close to me. It's like made me who I am. But then I left Pittsburgh early and then I moved to Ottawa like around I started coming to Ottawa when I was like 15, 16, because my father remarried. So,
So you
and,
moved with him.
well, I didn't move at that time. I was still in Pittsburgh, and then I would just visit like a lot, back and forth.
You mentioned New York also.
Yeah, I lived in New York in like 2011, 2010, 2011. I'll tell you that story later.
Okay, okay.
It's a funny story.
When did you officially move to Canada?
2007, 8? Yeah.
Okay, 2007, all right. Okay.
Yeah, 2007. 2006, 7.
So you went back to New York for a little bit and then came back here full time.
2 years later, I was in New York like 09, 2009, 2010.
Okay, nice, nice. Why Ottawa? I mean, I guess obviously your dad, but like, why do you stay here?
Oh,
You know?
why Canada in general?
Yeah, yeah.
So I have a lot of family from Canada. Shouts to the Williams family. Shouts to all my family. So I started visiting Canada early when I was like 10 years old, 10, maybe 11. Early, because I have a lot of family in Montreal. Like, my family moved they were like big in Montreal. I had a lot of family that just moved from Jamaica to Montreal. You know what I mean? That's where they resided, you know what I mean? Yeah, like Jamaican people, they move to certain places, you know what I mean? They just all move in one different way, you know what I mean? And it's dope. Family-wise, like, so a lot of my family members moved to Montreal, and it was dope. And then that's when I first came to Canada, like when I was early, young. I was like 8, 9, 10. So I started visiting at that time. I was in Pittsburgh, obviously. But my dad has 12 brothers or he has 11 brothers and sisters, but they make 12.
Yeah.
So he's 12.
Big family.
Yeah. So I had a lot of uncles and aunts that were in Canada and in the States in New York. So, but a lot of them were in Canada at the time. So we come out here, visit, and I always was like, wow, Canada's super cool. It was crazy. I remember coming out here when I was like I said, like 9 or 10. And the week after, y'all had the ice storm, like the big ice storm, like the
Yeah,
it was not the
2006, I think.
no, talking like
Or in
98,
the 90s, yeah, 96.
talking like
yeah,
98,
yeah,
like
yeah.
90, like the 98, 99, like Montreal joint, like
That's insane.
crazy. So we literally left right before it happened, and then I just remember seeing the news and all the things like that as a kid. But yeah. I always loved Montreal. Montreal's like my favorite place in the world.
Yeah, how come you didn't stay there? You stayed here? Just your dad again, or?
Yeah, of course. Like, désolé, je ne parle pas français.
Right.
So
Right. Okay, yeah.
I can't speak French.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
that was good, but I can't. I don't fucking speak. I that was good, right? Everyone always says like, "Yo, that's good,"
Speak French.
and I'm like,
that's it.
I got other couple
3 phrases.
10,
Okay.
10
You ever been in Jamaica? To go back and visit? Yeah.
over like 10 times,
Oh, nice, nice.
probably like over 10. Yeah, I mean Jamaica's the crib.
I'd love to go. I'd love to.
You've never
I've
been?
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and you know me. I'd love to go.
Yeah, we gonna go.
Oh my God.
I haven't been since COVID, like before COVID.
Yeah.
But
That's the last time I traveled.
The the year before I went to COVID, I went 3 times. I think that year. I think I went like at least 3 times type shit. And yeah, my dad's from Montego Bay, so every time I go to Jamaica, I kind of feel at home. It's like,
It's home.
yeah, it's super dope. Like, yeah, I love Jamaica.
Did you get into, and not even you doing it specifically, but did you show interest in rap first or fashion first? Because you are very involved in both those things. But like, where would you say, like, where did your interest start with which one?
Oh, okay, for sure. It was definitely rap first. Yeah, music first. I started really dabbling in music or making music when I was like 17, 18. And it just, that was from, like, I started making music when I was in Pittsburgh. So I had a mixtape. Like, I played basketball till 11th grade, 11th, 12th grade, and then I quit 11th grade. But I always balled, like, I still play ball. But I wasn't, like, crazy good, so I started writing and making music. And I had a lot of friends that made music. Ghostwriter, shouts to Ghostwriter, shouts to Jeb. They had a group called The Scholars at the time, and they was making crazy, crazy, crazy music. And this is at the time in Pittsburgh where, like, Mac Miller's not even big, you know what I mean? And, like, Wiz ain't big, Mac ain't big, nobody's big. And they were, like, going crazy. So they went to my high school, and I had the, like, pleasure of kicking it with them, rapping with them, going to the studio. But I wasn't even rapping at that time. I was just, like, just kicking it, coming from basketball practice and getting the raps. But I love to rap. Like, I know music crazy. Like, musicality-wise, it was, like, I always knew music, but I never knew I wanted to rap. You know what I mean? So by the time I'm like 17, and they're like, yo, let's do some shit. Let's make a mixtape. Let's kick it. You know what I mean? I was like, word.
When did you realize you wanted to rap? Like, you always obviously liked it. You liked the music.
Music, yeah. I've been
did
into
you
music
decide?
since I was a kid. Like, early. I've been in music since I was like 6, 7, but I always wanted to go hoop. Like, I was dedicated to hoops until I was like 16, 17. And then after that, it was like, all right, cool.
Transitioned into it.
Yeah, we're all in high school. Like, I mean, but I to be honest, like, that's the craziest part about making music. I never thought I would even get to this point. You know what I mean? It was like, wow, like, you know what I mean? I never thought I was going to be on stages and go different places with music. So everything that I have with music is like I cherish it. You know what I mean? It's just beautiful because
You're blessed.
yeah, it's blessed and highly favored. Blessed and highly favored. Shouts to B for saying that, but facts. Yeah, facts. Cause like I said, I never. If I would have called it, I would have went to NBA and I'd have been not AE or like Anthony Edwards, but I would have been like, I don't know, Paul George, somebody.
A guy. Somebody nice.
A guy.
You're still
A
nice.
guy.
Yeah,
I would have been a guy.
The guys.
That's what I wanted when I grew up, especially like balling, like, you know what I mean, playing ball.
I think there's a lot of crossover there too, right? They always say like athletes want to be rappers. There's a
100%.
There's a good amount of crossover there, I think.
That's true, but then also family too, because like my pops never made music. He was like a promoter, selector, DJ. Like all my uncles are DJs. You know what I mean? Like all my uncles are into music, building sound, building like from Jamaica type shit. So it's been around me since I was a kid, but then I was like, all right, I still want to be a DJ one day. Like I'm gonna do it like give me 4 more years. But music was like, cause my dad couldn't do it the way he wanted to. I'm like, yo, let me just go full in with it because I think that it makes sense and it's natural.
Yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah, it's obviously like
Very
part of that
natural.
family genetic, right? Like there's music through all your family, like you're saying, and so it was just the next iteration.
And my mom too. Like my mom is not a singer, right? She's like radio.
Oh.
Like my mom's a radio host.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So is that where your emceeing comes from? Do you think? Because you do some emceeing also.
1,000%. 100%. It's all my mom.
How did you get hooked in? We'll go forward a little bit, but how did you get hooked in doing that? Like you
hosting?
So for people who don't know, you host the Blackjacks games in Ottawa.
Yeah. Hosting.
How did you get hooked up doing that? Like, you know, hosting in general, and then with them specifically.
No, like you said, hosting is natural. Same way, it's not as natural as music, but the thing about making music, it was like I always tell any musician or any artist, if you like being on a mic, try to be on the mic. Like, just be on the mic anywhere. You know what I mean? Whether it's a birthday party, whether it's a family event, whether it's a wedding, try to get those gigs, because then it makes you more comfortable on the microphone in general. So there's performing your songs, and then there's hosting
Performing something else.
Event and hosting a actual structured performance. So I think both of them keep you in the balance of like being able to do both, basically.
The more you do something, the better you get at it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because hosting is like, I mean, I did that for family and friends. Like, my first hosting gigs were free 99. You know what I mean? Like, I did like my friend's quinceañera one time, or then I did like a couple weddings.
How were those weddings?
Weddings were
Bobby hosted wedding.
The receptions. They weren't
They
weren't the whole weddings, but the receptions.
The party,
Oh, it's crazy. Like, shouts to my brother Nico. Like, that was killed that. I've done 2 weddings, and like I did my family's wedding, my cousin Andrea. That was like epic. My grandma was there. Rest in peace, my mom, grandma. Like, it was like, you know what I mean? Like, imagine you're just doing it in front of everyone you love and things like that. And that was probably one of the greatest moments I've had, and just of the hosting moments. But like the blackjack games too. Like, I mean, I got to meet J. Cole. You know what I mean?
When?
Twice.
When? He came to a blackjacks game?
He played for the Scarborough Shooting Stars.
Oh my God, I didn't even.
That was the year before you were there.
Holy crap, bro!
2 times. I met him 2 times, bro.
How was he?
He was amazing. Like, he was crazy cool. And he's obviously great at basketball. You know what I mean? Like, he's fucking nice. Really good, like, he's real, like, he plays, like, pro level. I mean, I'm not going to hold you. I think he's a better rapper than he is a basketball player. Fair. Obviously, like, he's a touring artist. But he was so humble, so cool. And I met him twice that year because he played, and then he came back for the championship and watched him play for the championship. So that was, it was super cool. And
can't believe I missed that.
Ottawa was sold out that weekend, man. They was both weekends. It was crazy. Yeah, it was good.
That's wild. Yeah. So I want to get into your music a little bit, but let's go back just a step to the fashion stuff. So we talked about rap, and then so how did you get hooked in? Because you do a lot of. I mean, obviously, you know. I have my own clothing. But yeah, exactly. Boom. So let's talk about it. How'd that start? How'd you get into it? Like, how'd you get into it? Pvstlife.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
It's a good story. Pvstlife is fucking. Oh, sorry. That was my first time I cursed. I'm sorry.
You're good. Don't worry. You can do
whatever. My bad. Bleep that out. But Pvstlife it's a passion project. It's like, it's my baby. It's everything I kind of wanted to do with music, and then some, because music's like, I always think of music as like the car, or like music's the driving seat, right? Because nobody knows me if I don't make music. Like, that's just hosting is in the back seat, not of music, but like, if we think about it like a structure or a car, it's like, if I don't make music, people will never hear my voice. If they don't hear my voice, I can't host. I can't sell merch. And the original plan with the clothing line was merch, but I've always sold merch too, like Castro Crosby merch before I was Bobby Brugal. I had a lot of merch back then, Blues Fest, all this stuff. But then when I did Bobby Brugal, it was like, I wanted to do more of a actual line. And Pvstlife, the name, the label. So the first name I ever ran with was Triple B. Triple B is my record label, and that was Best of Both Borders. That's me, Mez, and my big cuz Skip. Shouts to Row and Flowers, you already know. That was the beginning of this. And then I got to where I got, And then I was like, let me start my own business and my own company. Because I was working for OVO at the time. When I started Pvstlife, I was working for OVO. And I quit OVO and I started Pvstlife. Like that was the reason I started my brand. It was like I got hired to work for OVO, hired all the people, love that company, still love the company. It's like a fire brand. But it was like, no, you know what? If they're selling hoodies for 160, 200, I was like, let me try to figure it out. I'm trying to sell some hoodies for 80 and 120 type shit. You know what I mean? So that happened, you know, and we were doing COVID at the time too. So it was like a lot of shit was going on, but it was a beautiful opportunity. And I, you know, like it made me inspired to do what I wanted to do with my clothing line. I already had these mocks, I had these designs, I had mad things in the cut, you know what I mean? But then it was like, yo, let me go crazy. So I started Pvstlife, I think February 2021 or 2020 that year. And the next thing you know, we started selling hoodies. I did the balaclavas, balis. I did the long sleeves, and then it just started growing. And in Ottawa, we started going out and seeing a lot of people wearing Pvstlife. So then it was like, all right, cool. But then I went on tour with that too. City Fidelia. City Fidelia, last year he took us on tour for a Pvstlife run. So we did a City Fidelia Pvstlife tour collab, and then we sold his shirts. And then we was in Boston, DC, New York, and he did 3 shows. It was crazy. So it was like, it just started making a lot of sense, you know what I mean? So
That's crazy.
yeah. So that's how we got to do it. Like, you got to just think about that shit. And
tell me about Uncle Snooky.
That's a great question. Hey, but shouts to City too. But damn, Uncle Snooky. Uncle Snooky is my Uncle Ted. Like he is my mother's uncle, but he was like a very prominent figure in Pittsburgh. I call him Uncle Snooky, Uncle Ted. If you ever been to Homestead in Pittsburgh, and we talking early '90s Homestead, or not Homestead, I'm sorry, Homewood. I'm a little lit right now, I'm sorry. But Homewood, Pittsburgh, Uncle Snooky. My Uncle Snooky had a laundromat, and he was a cab driver. And he was like the first to do a lot of many things in Pittsburgh. So, like, you know, he had a laundromat, he had a daycare, he had like mad shit. He was just like an entrepreneur hustler, and he was married to my Aunt Jessie, who was Uncle Snooky was my grandpa's brother. Long story short. And my grandpa was Bobby.
So I guess you take a little something from each one of them.
Yeah.
The entrepreneur and the name.
Yeah. So that's why so when they call me Bobby, it's not like I was called Bobby originally. I wasn't called Bobby originally. I was called Castro Crosby. But when I switched over to Bobby, I wasn't even thinking about my grandpa. I was thinking about like just the way it sounds. Like funny, like Bobby Brugal, Castro Crosby, Bobby Brugal. Oh, I was like, okay, that kind of matches. But then it just took on a whole nother meaning after like the year when I did the Uncle Snooky's laundromat project. That's when it like actually took way more meaning, because it's not like I forgot my grandpa's name was Bobby, but they call him Robert. Right? And then, so and then I got mad different content. They're like, yeah, you worry about Uncle Snooky, but like, man, you need to worry about Bobby, man. Your grandpa was the shit. And I was like, and they were just telling me stories about Uncle Ted, my dad, or my grandpa. And I was like, man, a whole bunch of like, imagine I'm doing an album. I was just doing an album. Excuse me. And I just unraveled mad family gems, like mad family gems about, you know, my cousins, my mom's side of the family that I don't know much about. I know more about my father's side of the family than my mother's. So that album was like a more dedication to my mother's side of the family.
I want to get into two things there, but I'll start with, why did you change names? Like, why did you decide to go from Castro to Bobby?
It wasn't no reason specifically. It was just like, I always like when Titty or 2 Chainz, you know 2 Chainz? When 2 Chainz went from Titty Boy to 2 Chainz, it was like a whole different career. And I liked that for him, you know what I mean? It was like crazy. I just like the rebranding. When I went to the Dominican in like 2018, 2017? I think it was 2017, 18. But it was like my 27th on my 27th. It was my champagne birthday, basically. And I went for my champagne birthday, and it was like, yo, they fuck with me. Like, I be drinking Mad Brugal, and they fuck with me like this. Like, I was going everywhere, and they was just fucking with me. So it was like, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just change my name or a different moniker, you know? It's like MF Doom, too.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's also like, as an artist, like, I always wanted to do like there's New Edition, there's Bobby Brown, you know what I mean? And then there's MF Doom, and then there's King Adidra, and there's Madlib, and there's different
Versions of the same person.
Yeah, different onions, different layers. There's Ghostface and there's Tony Stark. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I'm saying? So that's Castro Crosby, and there's Bobby Brugal to me in that space for the music type. You know what I mean? Because you and I got other shit that people never heard. I got a band. We got a band dropping. A whole band. It's called Land. 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 So there's different aspects to like making music that I want to keep continuing to make, but like you got to be inspired, yo, like because it should be hard. Like I don't even be inspired sometimes, like so it's like I just gotta like find the fucking energy for it. You know what I mean?
And different projects that helps with that, right? If you're not inspired with one thing, you can go to another thing and find inspiration in that, and that may spark something in the other venture. Then the second part would be, why weren't you close to your mom's side of the family?
No, it wasn't that I wasn't.
Or sorry, not close. You just didn't know as much.
They don't have as many people. Remember, like I was saying, like my pop's family, they got my dad has and my mom, she only has 2 brothers, and one passed before I was born, or not before I was born. I think I was like 3-4 years old. Shouts to my Uncle Carl, I love you, because he was apparently he was like a musical genius. Like he played piano, he played shit that was like I started hearing. So when I started doing Uncle Snooky, I started hearing about my Uncle Carl. You feel me? So it's like I start really getting to my family's core or the actual nuance. Like not that my mom ain't want to talk about it or nothing, but she probably couldn't talk about it from a way that her cousins could talk about it. Her, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah, I learned a lot about my Uncle Carl during that time, too. And, you know, he was very musical, too. So, it just, like, to me, it made sense, you know what I mean? So.
You're part of that lineage.
Yeah, but my mom only had 2 brothers. They're 3 versus 12, you know what I mean? So, that's the only reason, pretty much. Yeah. But Pittsburgh is my heart, like, because it's not about. Pittsburgh is everything to me. It's like I grew up, born and raised there. It's like Pittsburgh is Ottawa, Ottawa's Pittsburgh. It's like I grew up my adult life in Ottawa, but like my childhood years in Pittsburgh are like
the formation of you.
Yeah, it's literally the combination. With it, you don't like Drake. Combination.
We're gonna get to that. How would you compare the 2 cities? Pittsburgh and Ottawa, or like, would you say they're totally like? How would you?
They're totally different, but like they're not different in the sense of the way they're set up. Well, first of all, Ottawa, we only have 3 sides. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like we got east, south, west.
Yeah.
No one's ever said they're from the north side of Ottawa.
That's fair. Yeah.
Why? It's Gatineau.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not even downtown if anything.
It's Hall. It's Gatineau.
Yeah.
So Ottawa's like weird.
Huh.
Because they only have 3 sides.
I never thought about that.
I know.
It's true that you're right though. It's people only say
I'm
southeast.
super right. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, I've been here doing this shit for a long time, bro. No one ever said that about this place.
Damn. Okay, sorry. So
Think about it.
yeah, no, you're right. You're right. So apart from Pittsburgh having an extra side,
No, everywhere has an extra side. Ottawa's the only place that doesn't have the extra side. Yo. Because if you go everywhere else, it's north side, south side, west side, east side.
Ottawa's only got 3.
I'm from the south side of Pittsburgh.
So we're a unique city.
Very. The most you. That's why I love Ottawa, because it's super unique and like it's an anomaly in itself. Fuck, it's 30 degrees right now. It was 10 this morning. Like Ottawa is weird as a valley. It's a valley. It's great. It's the best place in the world. Come to Ottawa if you've never been, man.
Tell me about your new album.
4G.
Yeah. You put out a single.
Floating.
Floating
through your city at night, and you only live once, so you gotta live it right. Catch me floating through your city at night, and you only live once, so you gotta live it right. Past life to the next life.
Floating is crazy right now. I dropped it March 1st, and if I check the song stats, it's doing really good right now. We got a couple playlists. We're bubbling. The video just dropped a month ago. Like, you know me, I'm like analytical, kind of statistical. Not at this point, because what do you gotta believe? If you're not doing the bots, what do you have to believe? You gotta believe your own numbers.
Yeah.
So it's doing its thing, and I think people say it's one of the better songs that came out this year. Floating, catch me floating through your city at night, and you only live once, so you live it right. Got me floating. Yeah. So, boom.
When's the next track off the album dropping? I heard you talking about it today.
Yeah. I mean, today is when you guys don't get it per se, but I think it's probably gonna be in the next week or 2.
So it'll be out by the time this comes out.
For sure. The second song will be out definitely by the time this comes out, and then you'll get to judge me off of 2 songs, but not 1.
And when you want the album to drop?
Man, I really wanted the album to drop earlier than I had it. I recorded this album. I finished this album in November.
Wow. And all mastered and everything in November?
It was mixed, like, done.
So why are you sitting on it? This is good stuff.
It wasn't really a sit thing. It was more like a life thing. You know what I mean? Like, when you manage yourself and you have your own business with my manager, the only person that cares for me is DJ Mez in the music space, in that space. You know what I mean? So it was like, you know what I mean? You just gotta go what you go with, or know, you know what I mean? Like, drop it organically.
Yes.
And I'd rather drop organically than like forcing it down people's throats. But at this point, I know all the music is amazing on it, so it's not about when it drops, it's just how it drops.
Right.
It's not a win, it's just more how.
That makes total sense.
Because this shit this is the hardest time to drop music ever.
Why is that?
Because the internet is so distracted. Everything is distraction. Nobody really cares. Nobody cares. It's like the Bronx Tale, you know what I mean? Like my favorite movie, like Sunny. Nobody cares.
Tell me about your artist that you got in there. You got him away.
S-Rails. S-Rails is crazy. I mean, S-Rails isn't my artist per se, but he's an artist that like I champion and that I put my bottom dollar on, you know what I mean? Like if I had to put bets up, like I put him on S because he's crazy. And he reminds me of me when I was young, but not only that, he's just super creative. He's from the UK, he has a story to tell. He's dedicated to his own life, like real life. You know, he's a hardworking person. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it don't be just about rap. Sometimes it be about the character of the person, right? And like, I like want to get kind of back to that. I want to get back to, you know, the company you keep, right? And I truly feel like S is just like, he's better than all of us in the room. Like, we over here drinking, smoking. He ain't on none of that. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a very disciplined kid. And I wish I was that disciplined when I was his age. If I was that disciplined when I was his age,
Sure.
like, I would have literally probably been, this episode or this interview would have been on fucking AMC or some shit right now.
Might
Like,
still be.
right.
You never know. You never know.
Shouts to AMC.
Shouts to AMC.
No, but like, that was the funny, like, I think, yeah, he's crazy. So,
The song you guys have together is really nice.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The music
And-
video was good. Like,
I know, I mean, but he curated all that himself, and he was just like, yo, I need you to,
do your thing.
yeah, pull up, rap, you know. I love artists like that have the vision already. You don't got to have the vision already yourselves, because we can write, we can do everything, we can figure it out. But that shit means a lot too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's dedication. Not, like my grandma said, rest in peace, Grandma Genevieve, nothing beats an effort but a try. Nothing beats an effort but a try. And every day I wake up and just go get it. That's all I be on every day. Like, I ain't better than nobody. I just, every day. You know what I mean?
What do you want to do next? Like, the album's gonna drop this year. It's done. You're obviously working on more Fire. What do you wanna do this year? Like, what's your goals for this year?
That's a good question. I mean, I like I like all my enemies to send me $10,000 right now, like the Tinder swindler. No, I'm joking. No, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I think this year is going to be a very positive year. You know, I'm going to be hosting. You know, I'm going to be toasting. You're going to be doing a lot of shows. If I had it my way, the Blackjacks are going to be winning the championships. When 4G drops this summer, you guys are going to go download it and make it like the best album that ever came out. Like, you know, platinum. We ain't trying to do like 100,000. We trying to go platinum. You know what I'm saying? Like, bling, bling. And I do this shit by myself too. So I just checked my stats last month. I'm on like 400,000 streams, about 400,000 streams on my own, no label. So I always wanted to get to 1 million. And then when I get to 1 million, it's like, that's kind of cool. Like, I don't know, like, what do you want me to do with this shit? Like, I just want to keep performing, be great, be happy, tour the world, travel, get mad hotels, you know, just eat, rock shows.
Who's coming?
We're good,
He's coming out.
we're good. Come.
Yeah, come on, just take that.
I got like 10 more minutes.
That's exactly how long we have. 10
Okay,
minutes.
because I'm just gonna pee.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Oh.
Yeah, you got 10 more minutes.
Pause it.
Pause.
Yeah. Check. 1 2 1 2. Check. 1 2.
We're back.
We back, baby.
After a little break.
Little light break. You know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy.
A little light work. I think that we've basically gotten through everything, but I always like to ask my guests, like, what do you want to say to the world? Like, what do you want to tell people? What's something that's important that you think the world needs to know?
Well, great question. Again, damn, Pat, you killing. I'm here to change the world, obviously. I don't want to just be I don't want to be a bench player. I want to be a starter, you know what I mean? I want to be like Michael Jordan, you know? I want to be, whatever my craft is going to be, like my end craft, I don't know exactly what that is at this point yet because I'm only 26 years of age. No, I'm just I'm not 26. I'm fucking lying. I'm old. I say that to say I want to like really just get to the creative side of my life. I rapped a long time. Rap has been great to me. It's been beautiful. I've done things that I couldn't think of doing. I got to travel to places that I couldn't imagine. You know what I mean? And with that, I want to like start a band. I think my band's name is going to be called Land, Land. Land, like, because land, when you think about land, like, land covers all grounds. And that's what my band's preface is. And you guys are getting this first. First, literally, I never said that out loud. Shouts to Matt Gilmore. Shouts to Pat from Flight Distance. Shouts to all the aspects. Shouts to everybody in the city that we trying to collaborate with and more people. Because the land thing is going to be like a Wu-Tang thing. It's going to be like it ain't going to be a one thing. It's going to be like it's going to be a thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I want to continue making music because music's like therapy for me, you know what I mean? Like when people go to the gym, I go to the studio. You know, that's my thing. And I still go to the gym too, but like the studio is better. Like genuinely, I get way more vibes and endorphins from the studio, but that's another topic. But Pvstlife is gonna be growing. I'm back to making clothes as well this year. I took about a year off just because I was working, getting my funds right. It takes money to make money, so you gotta really just invest in yourself, plan in yourself, continue pouring in yourself so you can give back, you know what I mean? And I give 110%, so if I give 100% back, I'm super happy. And that's just what it is for me. So I think, you know, there's going to be a lot of different creative projects. I would like to do Pvstlife with a couple brands or companies, like collaborative. Pvstlife New Balance. That would be great, you know. I'm thinking big right now. But I have a lot of dope brands. Pvstlife Normal. You know, I love Normal. Normal is like, for us, you know, shouts to Big Bro, yeah, and I love Normal. So I'm gonna just keep going and curating the vibes that I curate, and then hope it reaches the masses, pretty much. Because we curate so many dope vibes here, and I'm content, I'm happy, I'm blessed. Like I said, blessed and highly favored. But yeah, it's gonna be a good year on top of this. And then I dropped the album, 1 album, 2 album. I have so many albums in the cut waiting to get dropped. It's just about when and where. So I'm happy, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I think Ottawa in general, like when Ottawa's up, I'm up. And when we're all winning, you know, it kind of works together.
Quickly related to that, people say Ottawa's a boring city. You agree?
No. Not at all. I don't think Ottawa's a boring city. I mean, I think it's like a chill city. And chill versus boring is two different things. But like, if you wanted to do something in Ottawa every day, you could. You know, there's 7 days a week. There's many festivals, events. If it's not brick cold -30, like obviously we have, and even when it is brick minus cold -30, you can go to the fucking winter festival or like whatever, you know what I mean? Like go skate on the canal, you know? Like there's many things to do when it comes to winter or summer. It just depends on what your favorite season is. And in Ottawa, we experience all the seasons all year. That's just the thing. It's like we experience all the seasons. It might snow in June, so if it snows in June, you know, just bring out your ski coat and whatever. But no, Ottawa's like, it's like a one-on-one place. It's a very unique vibe, and I love being here. That's why I set up my business here. That's why my family, I love everybody that's here and things like that. So Ottawa has a lot to offer. It's just about more getting out to the masses again, like I said.
Okay, so we kind of like tiptoed around this a little bit. You mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the big like hot button thing in rap right now, obviously, the Kendrick beef, the Drake beef. I guess Drake just beefing with everybody, or everyone beefing with Drake, however you want to look at that.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And, you know, we've kind of talked about this a little bit off camera, because I'm obviously basically born and raised here, not a fan of Drake. I'm on Kendrick's side.
For
You
sure.
are a little bit raised here, but born, you're
In America.
basically,
Same.
people would assume you'd be with Kendrick and I'd be with Drake. It's the exact opposite. You think that Drake won the beef?
Yes.
Explain.
Yes. I mean, first of all, I think when it comes to rap beefs, I think it was the greatest beef that ever happened. Like in my lifetime, like imagine we got the iPhone, we got the BlackBerry, we got Jay-Z and Nas,
Pac and Biggie.
Pac and Big, bro.
Maybe like a little before we were sort of like.
Yeah,
but,
like because
it's
Pac and
right there.
Big, I was like 6 or
Yes,
7.
exactly.
Like that wasn't.
But
I
we're still right around that time.
I cried when Biggie passed away.
Right.
Like I literally cried, and that was the first artist, or when you're young, you're a child. I think the first thing I ever cried to was like The Lion King.
Damn.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know how
No,
old.
when
I don't know how old people are that are watching this, but like the first thing that I was like, I can remember like actually being like bawling and like, yo, what the fuck, was when.
His dad does.
Yeah, when Mustafa passed, and like Scar, but he let him off the cliff.
Yep.
It was like, damn, brothers don't be birth shit. That's what like my first initial thoughts were as a kid. Moving on, yeah, you got Pac and Big. I'm from Pittsburgh, so like a lot of people listen to Big. I didn't listen to Pac until I was like older, until I could like actually listen to him on my own, like 12, 13, 14, boom, boom, boom. So when I was a kid, everybody listened to Big because in Pittsburgh, it's the East Coast. And then obviously I heard Pac, but I'm saying like Big was way more prominent. And then when Big passed, it was just like, yo, it's crazy. It was like, damn. I was super sad. Only 2 people I ever cried for was Big and Aaliyah. Like, as artists, you know what I mean? Like, Godfrey. A lot of artists have passed since, you know what I mean? But that was like, as a kid, because I didn't understand why Biggie passed, and then when Aaliyah passed, I didn't understand why that happened. You know what I mean? So, as a lover of hip hop and a lover of culture and all that shit, it was just like, you know what I mean? But so I like to say, like, let's say if we fast forward, that was when I was a kid. Now we got kids today, day and age right now, who are listening to Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, whoever it may be, your favorites, right? And I mean, it's competition. It's a sport. Like, it's like wrestling. It's like whatever. But rap has always been competitive. My opinion is that everyone won. But in the technicality and like when we're talking like punches versus jabs and hooks, and I think Drake probably hit more punches, but Kendrick won the culture. Kendrick won, the majority. And like when it comes to Not Like Us, like this is a banger of a banger, right? So, like I said, I don't have a horse in a race, but I think from a analytical standpoint, I think I could I just rate it from like as if I was like an analysis from like, basketball or something like that. And rap to me is dear to me. Like I wouldn't be where I'm at without music or rap. So I don't ever want to treat rap like it's not the first thing. It's the first thing, you know what I mean? Hip hop is the first thing to me, and I just want to continue that energy because without hip hop, where would we be? It's 50 years in, and then look how many lives it's already trajected and changed.
How much has shifted the culture.
That's what I'm saying. So as a genre alone,
Exactly.
like nobody's worrying about Kid Rock and Garth Brooks beefing, you know what I mean?
Or even, man, I'm sure same as you, but growing up, like classic rock was super prevalent still. Like
And
classic rock from the 60s, and I love it too. It's great.
I love it.
But it's not the same now. You would never, in a big prominent way, hear, and part of it's the age, but I think also is the shift of the culture. Like rap is the culture right now.
But we knew it was gonna be though. We as our early 90s tribe.
No, you can tell. You could tell.
We knew what was going on, but it was taboo.
Yeah.
And it's like weed's legal now.
And it's still
many things are legal now that weren't legal.
Things change.
You feel me? Like many things are legal now that weren't legal when we were, let's say, 5, 6 years old. So the world's changing, and you just got to learn how to change with it. And but I appreciate it at the same time,
Definitely.
especially from a musical point of view. If we're just talking about music, then
Gives you a better perspective.
exactly. I hope y'all all got what I was talking about today. I feel like I was a little Terrence Howardy because I wasn't looking at the camera, but I really, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of good game and gems that we spit tonight.
You were great. Bobby, thanks so
love
much,
you.
man.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Pat, again.
My guy.
Sonder, shouts to Sonder. You already know it's Bobby Brugal. We at Burrow Media Studios in Ottawa right now, and I love y'all. Peace.